Hi, my name is Jawan Johnson, and the topic that I will be discussing this evening is called gun control. Gun controls are laws or policies that regulate the manufacture, sale, transfer, possession, modification, or use of firearms in the United States. The United States is a little bit different than most other countries when it comes to gun control. In countries like the United Kingdom, gun control laws are very strict, so people do not have a lot of breathing room when it comes to wanting it to own or rent or even just use a gun in that country. But when it comes to the United States, we're a little bit more lenient. We let the people vote about how they want the gun control laws to be in their country or in their community. Gun control laws are not as effective as they should be because many criminals are able to obtain weapons illegally to commit crimes, purchase weapons anonymously, and own large amounts of ammunition without it being monitored by the authorities. The argument of gun control versus gun rights is an extremely controversial issue. Many people argue that gun control laws should be strengthened to stop the wrong people like criminals or uneducated owners from owning guns. I'm certain that the current gun control laws are not as effective as they should be because we are not as effective as we should be when we're going about the situation with guns. We as a country need to be more observant. We are allowing millions of illegal guns and accessories to be brought in and out of our country, and then we still wonder why the gun crimes such as the Columbine, Virginia Tech, Tucson, or Aurora keep happening. A lot needs to be changed before a consensus is made between those for and against gun control. Many criminals are able to acquire weapons without a background check or even an identification check. I don't understand how the authorities are surprised when criminals have armories in their home. In a country where I have to pull out an ID to purchase a certain video game when I'm under the age of 17, I think a country like that should have more than enough resources to monitor, control, and stop the wrong people from owning guns. James Holmes, the Colorado mass shooting suspect, purchased over 6,000 rounds of bullets within 120 days prior to the shooting. James Holmes also purchased a series of military items that seemed to be fitting for a small army, and authorities say that those purchases were not out of the ordinary. This means that there were a whole bunch of other people who could have been making purchases just like these, but the authorities wouldn't have known anything about it. Either that or the authorities, they didn't care. I think it's very hypocritical when they say we need to do something to stop this, we need to do something to limit this and limit that, when we're just waiting for things to happen. I think that limiting gun control laws within the law is absurd. The only thing that we are doing is we're just limiting the mother of four who wants to protect her family from owning a gun or taking it to certain places, or she can leave it in her car here, but she can't leave it in her car there. We're limiting those people. But those are the wrong people to be limiting. Most weapons that are used in crimes are purchased illegally. I think we need to do more about the illegal gun trade rather than work on the law. Because, to me, in my opinion, criminals like to break the law. So I don't think changing the law would actually do very much to stop these crimes from happening. I know all this may sound a little bit scary to you, but people can buy guns online. People can purchase 1,000,000 rounds of ammunition online if they wanted to. The only people who are limited to prohibition, like they can't hold a gun at all, are criminals. But what if one does not have a record? Who is that helping? What if I decide that, you know what, I'm going to commit my first crime today and it's going to be a mass murder? I'm not being limited from owning a gun. I could have gotten the gun illegally if I wanted to, but the authorities wouldn't have known anything about this because they're concerned about doing this with the law. I feel like they're just asking for the law to be broken. All of James Holmes' purchases were 100% legal and did not stand out because there is no system that tracks online gun purchases. The current gun control law should be modified to where someone should at least know about the vast amounts of gun purchases rather than let's just stop people from owning guns at all, or let's just stop people from holding guns here. Why don't we monitor it first? I'm not saying, wait for something to happen, but the fact that the government is oblivious to how many weapons and accessories are changing hands and to whom they are goes on to counter the theory that we should. If the government is going to monitor anything, it should be the weapon trade, the legal weapon trade. We are worried about who's purchasing this gun illegally, who's doing that with this gun, who's doing this with this gun. Oh, this person just bought a gun here legally. Hey, let's get on their backs. No. What we need to do is we need to make sure that we know that everybody who needs to own a gun has their rights. Because what if they say you can't take a gun into the store, but the criminal brings the gun into that store and kills a whole bunch of people? You know, I think it's ridiculous. I think that the gun control experts, or the people who are for gun control rather than gun rights, should shift their focus a little bit. Thank you for listening to my speech. Have a good evening.